Hello, world. It's John Pinto, your roving realtor, Bon Vivant video blogger, and I am here with Bob Johnson, the guru of HomeGuard Home Warranty. How are you, Bob?
I'm fine today, John. You doing well today?
I'm doing very well, especially since I figured out that when I put on my headphones, it will not only help my audio if I put on the headphones, but I also plug it into my computer. Do I
That's
sound better now?
always that you sound wonderful now. Yeah. By the way, I'm impressed with your living room.
That's right. I inherited it from Randolph Hearst.
There you
We
go.
had it moved from Hearst Castle. Thank you. And Rafael, how are you today?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you once again for having us.
Very good. Are you going to pick up anything in particular at Whole Foods today, Napa?
I'm not. I was actually around, just around the offices here in Napa, and I stopped here for the meeting.
Ah, okay. Very good. Well, that's a good spot over there. So today let's talk a little bit about electrical. I'll give you some of my little war story references.
Mhm.
First of all, I lived in Negley Park over on South 14th Street on a house that was built in 1906, and on South 16th Street on a house that was built in 1926. And I used to sell a lot of properties in downtown San Jose, still do occasionally, but lots and lots and lots of them. And we always
Mhm.
had the issue of quote unquote knob and tube wiring, which came up.
Mhm.
And then I would also venture into Almaden Valley, and we would have that Vietnam War era electrical that was using aluminum instead of
Aluminum.
copper, which was very interesting because I never observed that there was any problems with them, but it was the lawsuit du jour that you didn't disclose, or you sold us a house with aluminum wiring rather than copper wiring. And of course, all hell could break loose and the house could burn down at any minute. Nothing
Mhm.
ever happened, but who cares if a lawsuit is filed? And,
Sure.
I didn't see those happening too often, but you did hear about them when we were at our realtor meetings.
Mhm.
So let's just talk about electrical in general, but specifically knob and tube wiring, that aluminum wiring, and what kind of claims and issues do you see coming up as part of your home warranty claims?
Well, great question because yes, we don't see it as much anymore because of the dates you just mentioned of how old those homes are. To be able to have those. But I do remember the issues of the aluminum wiring and the stretching that would go on, and therefore connectivity problems, especially at the outlets, was an issue. And warranty companies would come out and under electrical, do replace the outlets and make sure the connections are proper so that the homeowner does have their power back. The knob and tube, this is a great example of why agents, homeowners, anyone listening to our videos here, you want to get your upgraded policies because these upgrades, modifications that need to be done when you run into the electrical that is that old can be costly. Warranty companies in general do not rewire homes. So if we do find out a problem, we're only going to repair that section. But if the technician says to a warranty company, well, I'm sorry, the only way to take care of this problem is we really need to rewire the whole house. That's not going to fall under a home warranty because that is one exclusion that all warranty companies that I'm aware of have. I've worked for multiple warranty companies and haven't had one that covers rewiring the house. I do have an interesting story though, and this ties into getting a good home inspector because we did have a situation where John, on one of those older homes, aged pretty close to what you were talking about, the seller had done an addition onto their home. They just put a little, I'll say a rumpus room addition onto the house. And the buyer chose not to get any home inspection. And
Mm.
so we had a warranty and the buyer moved in And unfortunately, when they tried to use all the sockets in that extension room, they kept blowing the breaker. And so we sent out an electrician, and they went up and found out that the person who did the addition, I don't want to impugn anybody, the person who did the addition actually had taken an extension cord and tied in to the knob and tube electrical from the main house. And it was an extension cord that ran to the outlets of the addition. And so this is a huge problem that's not to any code at any time in my knowledge. And so that whole room needed to be rewired to be done up to code and done correctly. Would that have been discovered under a normal home inspection? Absolutely, it would have. The inspector would have just put his head up into that attic and found the extension cord spliced into that knob and tube, and would have immediately put up a red flag for all the parties.
Okay, so with electrical, uh, could you impart to us the difference between the coverage in your basic uh, policy and your total protection plan? And do you need to add any optional coverages to make sure that you're properly covered on the electrical?
The beauty of the electrical, because warranty companies, all of us in our standard policies cover the systems and appliances, and electrical system would be included in that. And we're covering, the lights, the outlets, the switches. Like I said, we don't rewire the home, but all of the basics are pretty covered. Where getting the upgraded plans is a smart idea is because if you again have to do a code upgrade, let's say to the breaker box, we hadn't touched on that part, but obviously that's part of the electrical, and you might have to do an upgrade to that or a modification to that breaker if the client's having an issue. And by having the upgraded plans, whether it be an Advantage plan or total protection plan with HomeGuard, you're going to have the additional coverage to take care of the breaker box that might need to be upgraded to address the issue that the client's having. You might have no problem at all with the outlets, but you're having a problem now with the actual breaker system.
Every now and then we see issues like reverse polarity coming up, and especially now where people are sheltering in place. They're doing high-speed internet, they're homeschooling. You have a lot more demands on your electrical system at home. Is that causing any kind of issues to come up? Any failures in any way that we weren't seeing before?
I haven't experienced any of those at this point. I think the closest thing that we've had is we'll get into a home and find out that they have plugged a couple power strips on top of each other to try to get enough plugs to handle the extra appliances, I'll say, that you might be referring to now that we're sheltering in place. And they're blowing a circuit because they're trying to put too much load onto that specific circuit. And so there's really nothing wrong with the electrical at that point. They're just overloading it. So we've had to educate homeowners that, hey, don't put a power strip on top of a power strip because you're trying to draw too much power out of one circuit. You really need to disperse this across a couple breakers, and then you won't have the problem.
So one surge protector per receptacle, or one surge protector per pair of receptacles?
Yeah, when you go into a home and you see one plugged in and it has four separate now outlets off that one, but they plug another one into that one and get another four, so they basically created 2 into 10.
Mm-hmm.
And ask us, why is the breaker keep tripping?
Okay, so for a simple non-electrician person like me, you usually have a two-ganger, two
Yes.
receptacles.
Yeah.
Would it be within the acceptable standard of practice to put in one surge protector in each of those two receptacles?
Well, you run the risk of blowing the circuit depending on the appliances or the
Okay.
systems you're running out of there and what they're pulling.
So the
Um,
answer is you'd
but
be safer with one surge protector.
yes, and
Okay.
it's again there's a case by case on those kind of situations, but this is a topic that we try to get into when a claim is made to find out what specifically is going on so we can help the client as soon as possible, because waiting 24 hours to get a technician out there and finding out that the simple answer was just move that one surge protector away and the breaker will stop tripping on you and losing power for that bedroom or that office, is the short answer.
Greg, is there an option where they could just have you stay in the third bedroom 24/7
Right.
so you could be the answer man all the time, or do they just have to call you on your cell phone?
They just got to give us a call. My wife wouldn't like the idea of me being gone that much.
Well, I can tell that you haven't been married for 47 years like me.
Well, I'm not 47, but I am 33.
33, that's pretty good. The old
33
math, the
years, yeah.
new math, that's 80 years of marriage.
Hey, we're going to have to toast to that.
They're going to throw us out of California for that. Listen carefully, Rafael. Listen
That's
carefully.
right.
You're not married yet, are you, Rafael?
I'm not, but I'm taking notes.
Excellent. Well, certainly you could see where the electrical could be another rabbit hole that we go down. So I see your cell phone in the background, Bob. If people want to call you and find out more about HomeGuard home warranty, please reiterate that phone number.
Yep, my cell phone's over my right shoulder. It's 707-454-6950.
Excellent. And Rafael, if people want to contact you for roof termite home inspections or any information, how do they contact you?
Absolutely. You guys can either call me or you can text me at 707-616-8762, or you can email me at rbetances@homeguard.com. That's Betances, my last name, @homeguard.com.
Excellent, gentlemen. Well, thank you for imparting all of that information about electrical systems. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you on the next page.